Good morning, y'all. This is Ray from Empower Evolution. How are y'all doing? This is your love bite for the day. So I was driving on my way to work and I'm running a little bit late. Please forgive me. But God spoke to my spirit and he said, "You are not too late." And I said, "Yeah, I am. I'm running late, Lord. I am." I'm running late. I'm sorry. And I started thinking, God, what is it about me being late? Jesus, help me. I was born a month late, my mom even said. Oh my goodness. My daddy said, you're going to be late to your own funeral. I said, well, you know what? I might be, because I don't need to be dying anytime soon. I'd rather die late. You know what I'm saying? But so I just started thinking about that, and then God dropped some scripture in my spirit. When you think about lateness in the Bible, oh my goodness, God really reveals and pours out that massive revelation on the fourth watch. Back in biblical times, the Israelites had to divide their time by 3 watches. So those 3 watches were actually what the Hebrews did to divide, the hours of the day. But when the Romans came in and they invaded their town, their country, they had to develop what was called the fourth watch. And that fourth watch was to watch over their families, their wives and their children, and keep them safe and protected during the wee hours of the night to the morning, which the fourth watch typically starts after 3 a.m. and goes on to, I think, 7 a.m. And so that is called the fourth watch. It's a watch that normally would not have occurred if it had not been for contention, imminent harm that could possibly been plotted against the people of God. And so we are now as children in the fourth watch, especially the year 2020. 2020 is the 4th year, and God has called us to be watchmen on the tower. And so we are to stand in the fourth watch. But what God was telling me was that he showed me in Exodus where it says the wheat and the spelt become fully ready to be harvested late. So a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, my best years are over, and me included, because I'm almost 50, I'm 47 years old. And it's like, half my life, if I'm going to live to be 100, although I'm speaking 150, but anyway, and fully healthy. Hello. Yeah, bro. But yeah, it's like, I had all these opportunities, I made all these mistakes, has it passed me by? Is it too late? Look at The Rock. Dwayne Johnson. He came into the game wanting to be a big footballer, big football player. And he was really excited. He just knew he had a future. He had talent. He had skill. He knew the right people. He had connections. And he injured himself, and he ended up back to the starting point. And so what happened is he became a wrestler. And he didn't do all that well. And then one day he did his little eyebrow. Yeah, all right, Rock, I'm doing my eyebrow too. And it caught on, and then it went from being this he ended up winning championships actually for his wrestling, and he went and he succeeded in that, and then he became an actor, and he just became this presence in the world, and he's just done some amazing, wonderful things for our country, in Hawaii and everything, just bringing awareness to the people and all kinds of things. And so, God, it's not too late. It's never too late to be all that God has called you to be. You really can. I had to overcome obesity, homelessness, rape from a little 7 years old on up, molested and raped and spousal abuse, and I was married to a drug addict and alcoholic. I picked dysfunctional people because I was dysfunctional. I picked broken people because I was broken, and I had to live with the consequences of that. We make choices in life, and we have to live with those consequences, even if those choices were made from our own trauma, from our own pain, from our own issues with mental well-being and stability, from depression and anxiety and all that stem from those traumas. But oh well. We still have to be accountable for the choices we make. But you know what? It's not too late. Sometimes those that bloom later bloom the longest and bloom the most beautiful. So God can use you right where you're at. I don't care if you're 85 years old. There is still time. It could be in just 1 month. Look at Mama Hale. And I do have to say, hey, I'm a Hale, y'all. But look at Mama Hale. I don't know if y'all remember her, but she was like an 80-year-old woman who finally, after decades and decades of giving and doing and taking care of children and loving the community and giving back, giving the littlest, even when she had very little herself, she finally got noticed. She finally got acknowledged. She finally was able to impact not just that little community, but she was able to make an impact globally, because people all over the world became inspired by her and began giving and doing. So, you're never too old. It's never done when you can accomplish your dream. You can go back to school and get that degree. You can write that book. You can start that ministry. It is never, ever too late. God blesses and gives an overflowing abundance and revelation and prophetic wisdom to those that bloom late. Those that bloom late, God is speaking to me, receive a double portion, because everything that they had to overcome and transverse in blooming and growing, with all those doors shut, that was more than what other people had to endure, with all of that rejection, all of that persecution, all of that pain and misery that they sowed into their victory. Because of that, they reap a double portion in their latter days. So you all, I'm speaking that prophetically to you. Expect that latter rain. That latter rain is going to be more abundant, more resplendent, more nourishing, more just overflowing than you could ever imagine. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed and God-filled, empowered, impacted day. And I thank y'all for hitting like, for subscribing. This is your Love Bite. Talk to y'all later.